The relationship between celebrity and criminal justice has long fascinated American society, creating a complex dynamic where fame, power, and accountability intersect. When public figures face legal consequences, their cases become more than simple criminal proceedings. They transform into cultural phenomena that reflect broader societal values, power structures, and evolving standards of justice. The following examination of 20 prominent individuals who have served or are currently serving prison sentences reveals the multifaceted nature of celebrity criminal cases and their lasting impact on American culture. Entertainment industry, the price of fame. R. Kelly, the King's downfall. Robert Sylvester Kelly's transformation from celebrated R&B icon to convicted sex trafficker represents one of the most dramatic falls from grace in entertainment history. Sentenced to 30 years in federal prison in 2022 for racketeering and sex trafficking, Kelly's case exposed decades of alleged abuse and manipulation. His musical genius, evident in hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition, made him one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with over 75 million records sold worldwide. The allegations against Kelly dated back to the 1990s, including his illegal marriage to 15-year-old singer Aaliyah in 1994. Despite numerous accusations and a highly publicized 2008 child pornography trial that ended in acquittal, Kelly continued performing and recording. The 2019 Surviving R. Kelly documentary series marked a turning point, featuring testimonies from alleged victims and reigniting public interest in the case. The documentary's impact demonstrated how media can influence public perception and legal outcomes, ultimately contributing to Kelly's prosecution. Kelly's case highlighted several critical issues: the protection of young women in the music industry, the intersection of race and justice in celebrity cases, and the role of enablers in facilitating criminal behavior. His conviction sent a message that fame and artistic talent could no longer shield predators from consequences, marking a significant moment in the Me Too era's impact on the entertainment industry. Harvey Weinstein, ATI, Hollywood's reckoning. Harvey Weinstein's conviction and 23-year prison sentence for rape and sexual assault catalyzed a global movement that fundamentally altered Hollywood and broader society. As co-founder of Miramax and the Weinstein Company, Weinstein wielded unprecedented influence in Hollywood, producing critically acclaimed films like Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love, and The King's Speech. His companies won numerous Academy Awards, and he was known for his aggressive awards campaigning that revolutionized Oscar strategy. The 2017 New York Times and New Yorker exposés revealed decades of alleged sexual harassment and assault, protected by a network of lawyers, private investigators, and non-disclosure agreements. Weinstein's downfall sparked the viral Me Too hashtag, encouraging millions of women worldwide to share their experiences of sexual harassment and assault. The movement transcended entertainment, affecting politics, business, academia, and other industries. Weinstein's trial was groundbreaking in several ways. It featured testimony from multiple accusers, challenging traditional approaches to sexual assault prosecutions that often rely on single-victim cases. The conviction demonstrated that even the most powerful Hollywood figures could be held accountable, encouraging other victims to come forward and prosecutors to pursue high-profile cases. His case fundamentally shifted power dynamics in Hollywood, leading to new industry protocols and increased awareness of sexual misconduct. Bill Cosby, the destruction of America's dad. Bill Cosby's imprisonment and subsequent release created one of the most controversial celebrity justice stories in recent history. Known worldwide as the wholesome father figure Dr. Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show, he was sentenced to 10 years for aggravated indecent assault in 2018. However, Pennsylvania's Supreme Court overturned his conviction in 2021, ruling that a previous prosecutorial agreement prevented the case from being tried. Cosby's cultural significance cannot be overstated. The Cosby Show broke racial barriers on television, presenting an affluent African-American family that challenged stereotypes and became appointment television for millions. The show's success made Cosby one of the most powerful figures in entertainment and earned him the nickname America's Dad. His comedy albums, particularly his family-friendly storytelling style, influenced generations of comedians. The accusations against Cosby spanned decades and involved more than 60 women, Many allege that he drugged and sexually assaulted them, often in scenarios where he presented himself as a mentor or father figure. The cases highlighted the statute of limitations' impact on sexual assault prosecutions and the challenges victims face when reporting crimes against powerful figures years after the fact. His legal troubles began gaining traction during the Me Too era, though allegations had circulated for years. Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet's fall. Mike Tyson's 3-year imprisonment from 1,990 to 1,995 for rape represented a seismic shift in both his career and boxing history. At the time of his conviction, Tyson was the most fearsome heavyweight boxer in the world, having become the youngest heavyweight champion at age 20 and unified the heavyweight titles with devastating knockout power that made him a global phenomenon. The case involved Desiree Washington, an 18-year-old Miss Black America contestant whom Tyson met during the pageant in Indianapolis. Tyson maintained his innocence throughout the proceedings, claiming the encounter was consensual. The trial was highly publicized, with Tyson's volatile personality and previous incidents of violence becoming central themes. His conviction shocked the sports world and fundamentally altered heavyweight boxing's landscape. During his imprisonment, boxing moved forward without its biggest star. When Tyson returned in 1995, he was no longer the invincible force he had been. While he regained heavyweight titles and continued earning massive purses, his peak years were lost to incarceration. The case raised questions about athlete behavior, the intersection of fame and criminal justice, and the impact of imprisonment on athletic careers. Tyson's post-prison career was marked by both spectacular victories and infamous incidents, including the ear-biting episode with Evander Holyfield. Wesley Snipes, tax troubles, and career consequences. Wesley Snipes' 3-year federal prison sentence from 2010-2013 for tax evasion marked the dramatic fall of one of Hollywood's highest-paid action stars. At his peak in the 1990s and early 2000s, Snipes commanded $20+ million per film, starring in successful franchises like Blade and popular action movies like Passenger 57 and Demolition Man. Snipes' legal troubles began when he became involved with tax protest movements that claimed federal income tax was unconstitutional. He stopped filing tax returns and owed millions in back taxes, interest, and penalties. The case highlighted the dangerous consequences of following fringe legal theories and the importance of proper financial management for high-earning celebrities. His imprisonment effectively ended his A-list Hollywood career. While he has returned to acting in smaller roles in direct-to-video productions, he never regained his previous star status. The case served as a cautionary tale for other celebrities about tax compliance and the career-ending potential of criminal convictions. It also demonstrated that the IRS aggressively pursues high-profile tax evaders, regardless of their celebrity status. Music industry, rhythm and crime. Lil Wayne, hip-hop, and legal troubles. Dwayne Michael Carter Jr.'s 8-month imprisonment at Rikers Island in 2010 occurred at the height of his influence as one of hip-hop's most important artists. Known for his prolific output and unique style, Lil Wayne had released numerous platinum albums and was considered by many to be the best rapper alive during his peak years. His weapons conviction stemmed from a 2007 arrest where police found a loaded .40 caliber pistol on his tour bus. The case reflected broader issues about racial profiling in policing and the criminalization of hip-hop culture. Many in the hip-hop community viewed the prosecution as targeting a successful black artist, while law enforcement emphasized the seriousness of weapons charges. During his imprisonment, Lil Wayne maintained his relevance through pre-recorded music releases and social media presence managed by his team. His fans rallied around him with Free Weezy campaigns, and fellow artists showed support through music and public statements. His relatively short sentence and successful return to music demonstrated how some artists can weather legal troubles without permanent career damage. Ja Rule, A1. Multiple legal battles. Jeffrey Atkins's approximately 2-year imprisonment for tax evasion and weapons charges represented another chapter in his legal troubles that coincided with his declining musical career. Once one of hip-hop's biggest stars in the early 2000s, with hits like Livin' It Up and Always on Time, Ja Rule's career had already been damaged by his highly publicized feud with 50 Cent. His legal issues compounded his career problems, as he faced both the weapons charge connected to the same incident that implicated Lil Wayne and separate tax evasion charges for failing to pay taxes on millions in income. The imprisonment occurred during a period when hip-hop had moved away from his melodic rap singing style toward different sounds and artists. More recently, Ja Rule faced intense scrutiny for his involvement in the failed Fyre Festival, though he avoided criminal charges. The festival's spectacular failure, documented in popular Netflix and Hulu documentaries, further damaged his public reputation and demonstrated how past legal troubles can amplify current controversies. Business and financial crimes. White-collar consequences. Elizabeth Holmes, Silicon Valley's fallen star. Elizabeth Holmes' 11-year prison sentence for defrauding investors in her blood-testing company, Theranos, marked the end of one of Silicon Valley's most spectacular frauds. Once celebrated as the world's youngest female billionaire, and compared to Steve Jobs for her black turtleneck uniform and revolutionary claims, Holmes became a symbol of Silicon Valley's fake-it-till-you-make-it culture gone wrong. Theranos claimed its proprietary technology could run hundreds of medical tests from a single drop of blood, potentially revolutionizing healthcare diagnostics. Holmes attracted massive investment from prominent figures, including former Secretaries of State Henry Kissinger and George Shultz, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, and the Walton family. At its peak, Theranos was valued at $9 billion. Investigative reporting by John Carreyrou of the Wall Street Journal revealed that Theranos' technology never worked as promised. The company used traditional machines for most tests and diluted tiny blood samples to dangerous levels for others. Patients received inaccurate results that could have led to misdiagnoses and improper treatments. The fraud extended to investors, regulators, patients, and employees who believed in Holmes' vision. Her trial featured dramatic testimony about her relationship with former president and lover Ramesh Sunny Balwani, whom she accused of abuse and manipulation. The defense strategy of portraying Holmes as a victim of domestic abuse who was coerced into fraudulent behavior represented a novel approach in white-collar criminal defense. However, the jury ultimately found her guilty on 4 counts of investor fraud. Bernie Madoff, the ultimate Ponzi scheme. Bernard Lawrence Madoff's 150-year prison sentence for orchestrating the largest Ponzi scheme in history represented the ultimate consequence for financial fraud. Madoff stole approximately $65 billion from investors over decades, destroying thousands of lives and numerous charitable organizations. He died in federal prison in 2021 at age 82, ensuring he would never taste freedom again. Madoff had been a pillar of Wall Street respectability, serving as chairman of NASDAQ and running what appeared to be a legitimate investment advisory business. His clients included wealthy individuals, hedge funds, and feeder funds that trusted his reputation and consistent returns. Many investors were drawn by his exclusivity. Madoff often played hard to get, making potential clients feel privileged to invest with him. The scheme collapsed during the 2008 financial crisis, when market turmoil prompted too many investors to request withdrawals simultaneously. Madoff confessed to his sons, who worked in his firm's legitimate market-making business, and they reported him to authorities. The revelation shocked the financial world and devastated victims who had trusted Madoff with their life savings. High-profile victims included Holocaust survivor and Nobel laureate Elie Wiesel, whose foundation lost $15.2 million, and numerous Jewish country clubs and charities that lost hundreds of millions. The case highlighted regulatory failures, as the SEC had received credible warnings about Madoff from whistleblower Harry Markopolos, but failed to adequately investigate. The scandal led to significant reforms in investment oversight and regulatory procedures. Martha Stewart, the perfect storm. Martha Stewart's 5-month imprisonment and 5-month home confinement for insider trading created a firestorm of controversy about gender, success, and prosecutorial priorities. The lifestyle guru and media mogul was convicted for selling ImClone stock based on non-public information, saving approximately $45,000, a relatively small amount given her wealth. Stewart had built a multimedia empire around homemaking and lifestyle advice, transforming herself from a caterer and stockbroker into one of America's most recognizable businesswomen. Her company, Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia, went public in 1999, making her a billionaire. Her brand represented perfection in domestic life, from elaborate entertaining to home decoration. The prosecution was highly controversial, with supporters claiming Stewart was targeted because she was a successful woman who threatened traditional power structures. Critics argued that male executives who committed similar or worse crimes received less attention and lighter sentences. The relatively small financial gain involved made the case even more notable, raising questions about prosecutorial discretion and resource allocation. Stewart's handling of her legal troubles became a masterclass in crisis management. She maintained her innocence while accepting responsibility for her actions, served her sentence with dignity, and emerged from prison with her brand largely intact. Her successful return to business demonstrated remarkable resilience and business acumen, ultimately increasing her fortune beyond pre-conviction levels. Political corruption, power, and its consequences. Rod Blagojevich, governor who went too far. Rod Blagojevich's 14-year sentence for political corruption, including attempting to sell Barack Obama's vacant Senate seat, exemplified the intersection of politics, media, and criminal justice. The former Illinois governor's case was notable for recorded conversations where he discussed the Senate appointment in transactional terms, including his infamous statement about the seat, "I've got this thing and it's F, in golden." Blagojevich had been a charismatic politician who enjoyed media attention, appearing on reality TV shows and maintaining a high public profile. His corruption charges included extortion, wire fraud, and solicitation of bribes related to various state business, from hospital rate increases to campaign contributions. The recordings revealed a politician who viewed public office as a vehicle for personal enrichment. President Trump commuted Blagojevich's sentence in 2020 after he served 8 years, citing the harshness of the sentence and claiming prosecutorial misconduct. The commutation was controversial, with critics arguing it undermined anti-corruption efforts and sent the wrong message about political accountability. The case highlighted ongoing corruption issues in Illinois politics and the challenges of reforming political culture. Paul Manafort, EMS, international intrigue. Paul Manafort's conviction and imprisonment for financial crimes emerged from the Mueller investigation into Russian election interference, but focused on years of tax and bank fraud unrelated to his Trump campaign work. The longtime political consultant served nearly 2 years of a 7.5-year sentence before being released to home confinement due to COVID-19 concerns. Manafort had built a career advising pro-Russian politicians in Ukraine, earning millions that he failed to report to U.S. authorities. His lavish lifestyle, including expensive homes, luxury cars, and custom clothing, was funded through complex money laundering schemes involving offshore accounts and shell companies. The case revealed the extensive financial crimes that can accompany international political consulting. His prosecution was significant as one of the few successful convictions resulting from the Mueller investigation, though it focused on financial rather than election-related crimes. The case highlighted the challenges of investigating international financial crimes and the importance of following money trails in complex criminal investigations. Michael Cohen, the fixer's fall. Michael Cohen's imprisonment for campaign finance violations, tax evasion, and lying to Congress marked the downfall of Donald Trump's longtime personal attorney and self-described fixer. Cohen served approximately 1 year in federal prison, with the remainder of his sentence served in home confinement due to COVID-19. Cohen's crimes centered on $280,000 in hush money payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal to prevent them from discussing alleged affairs with Trump before the 2016 election. Prosecutors argued these payments constituted illegal campaign contributions that exceeded legal limits and were not properly disclosed. His cooperation with federal investigators and dramatic testimony before Congress made him a central figure in investigations surrounding Trump. Cohen's transformation from loyal attorney to cooperating witness illustrated the pressures faced by criminal defendants and the personal costs of loyalty to powerful figures. His case highlighted the intersection of campaign finance law, personal scandals, and the consequences for those who facilitate potentially illegal activities. Conclusion: justice, fame, and social evolution. These 20 cases collectively illustrate the evolution of American attitudes towards celebrity, accountability, and criminal justice. From the era when stars seemed largely untouchable to today's climate where public figures increasingly face consequences for their actions, These stories reflect broader social changes about power, privilege, and justice. The diversity of crimes from financial fraud to violent offenses demonstrates that no level of fame provides complete immunity from prosecution, though wealth and influence certainly affect legal outcomes and public perception. The cases show varying degrees of accountability, rehabilitation, and career impact, reflecting the complex relationship between celebrity status and criminal consequences. These stories continue to fascinate because they reveal the human flaws behind public personas and demonstrate that justice, however imperfect, can eventually prevail regardless of celebrity status. They serve as cautionary tales about the consequences of criminal behavior, while also highlighting the ongoing challenges of ensuring equal justice under law in a society where fame, wealth, and power create inherent inequalities. The evolution from cases like Martha Stewart's controversial prosecution to Harvey Weinstein's conviction shows how social movements, media coverage, and changing cultural values can influence both legal outcomes and public perception. As society continues to grapple with issues of accountability, privilege, and justice, these cases will remain relevant examples of the intersection between celebrity culture and the American legal system.